The next stop is On the Radar Radio.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Yes, sir, baby. On the Radar Radio. Yo, special guests in the building. Group therapy in the building.
Yes, sir. That's good.
So excited to have y'all. When the people are seeing this, well, first of all, the LA performance is out. When you know, did a little some went a little viral. But I'm so excited because we've already kind of been talking before the interview, but I feel like we introduced y'all to like a whole new side of this country too. Like obviously, all my New York friends were commenting. They're like, "Who the fuck is this?" Da, da, da. I actually had somebody on my Amazon show. They were like, "Yeah, we were looking at the tour content, and they admittedly were like, we're not a fan of all the tour content, but the one piece of tour content that we really love is that group from Los Angeles." I'm like,
oh my God.
I'm like, oh my God, us, me too. That's my favorite. That's my favorite. So I think it's so great to have y'all, and I'm glad that we could introduce y'all now through this and what we're gonna do today to the world. So first of all, how y'all doing?
Good.
We're good.
We're
Tired.
Good.
We've been on tour with Toby Lou, so it's been great, but it's been moving. We've been moving.
Mm-hmm.
Is this like y'all's first big tour together?
This is our first tour ever.
First tour ever. Wow.
Yeah. We 9 stops in.
So 9 stops in.
Yeah.
By the time people see this, the New York show already happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's been the most troubling part of tour so far?
Ooh.
Honestly, driving like at night.
Yeah.
Oh, you've been bussing it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
We usually will do a show and then that night drive to the next city, and whenever we get there, get as much sleep as we can. You know.
It's like living in the Twilight Zone, though,
Yeah.
bro. It's
It
like
is.
being
You
at
wake
gas
up in a new place
stations.
every day,
Yeah,
like,
random ass
what the
American gas stations at 3 o'clock in the morning. Like,
Yeah.
that shit is not Earth, bro.
What's been like the most odd experience that you've had on these like drives across the country? Because you're talking about the gas station, I already know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
what's been like
bro.
the oddest like experience on tour so far, driving from like LA to all the other cities to to out here?
It's gonna be hard to pick one. There's been so many.
There's been so many,
I mean,
bro.
there's the B&B in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, we
There
got-
was the deer.
Oh yeah, there was a deer.
Wait, break this down. What's the B&B in Fort Lauderdale? What happened?
All
We
I'm
got
gonna
it.
say is we had the B&B booked and we had to go to a hotel, bro.
It wasn't what it said it was gonna be.
Yeah.
It was.
I think we've all been there before, though.
bruh.
Yeah,
That was
bro,
e-
it was
it was
catfishing
bad.
on the Airbnb.
Like
bad,
the pictures were not nothing like what it was actually. It looked like somebody blew it up.
Yeah. It
There
looked
was
like
like
something really
burn
bad
marks
happened.
on the walls and the floors.
Hairs everywhere, dirt.
Footprints on the bed.
Like in the bed, footprints in the bed.
Nah.
How does that? What?
Yeah.
What do you mean, like footprint, like on the mattress?
Yeah, you know, like-
dirty footprints.
Like somebody just put their
Like they were trying to clean the window and they just like
Yeah.
stepped on the bed to like clean the window. So
Oh,
that's what
their
it
feet was
felt like.
dirty.
Yeah.
That's nasty.
Too much, bro.
It is nasty. That's where I'm gonna lay my head.
Yeah, we're very specific about that. It's not a lot you can really have say over.
Right.
But,
But we
where
was like,
you
nah,
lay your
nah.
head is important.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. I relate because our team is like a lot like all guys and then one woman. So like we got to make sure that she's always taking
That's
care
what I'm
of.
saying,
You know
bro.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. And honestly,
Yeah,
though,
yeah.
like,
I do require a little extra.
yeah,
Just
I
a
feel
little
like we're
bit.
lucky.
Yeah, nothing too
We're
crazy.
lucky because we get all the bouginess. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the best restaurants. It's the best hotels.
Always gotta
with
have
Jada.
2 bathrooms.
Yeah.
You gotta have
Yeah.
a woman on your team. Gotta have a woman. in the
Always.
group. Always.
If you do not have a woman or multiple women on your team, you are slipping, bro. I'm telling y'all.
What's the deer story?
Oh my God, bro. Where was we at? Nashville?
We was on our way from Nashville to Charlotte.
To Charlotte. It was like 3
Um,
o'clock in the morning.
and there was shout out Pops. Derek has been driving us around. There were 3 deers walking across the road in the middle of the night. It's like 3 a.m.
Okay.
And he's tried to swerve out the way as much as he could, and we ended up like just
We caught something.
like
Oh, you
Yeah.
hit something.
We hit something.
Yeah.
We hit something. The thing
And
is,
we
like,
couldn't really see because it was so dark, so we don't know exactly.
we pulled
what
over.
had
There was no
happened,
dent
but-
in the car, but we felt something.
You felt the doo-doo.
Yeah.
And in the like the grill of the truck is a little bit of hair stuck in it.
Yeah, it was a little hair.
You guys hit your first deer. Congratulations.
Bro,
I don't
no,
accept that.
We were shook up. You know
I ain't
how
gonna-
you be riding in the car and everybody be vibing, we're listening to music,
Yeah.
somebody got the aux. Nigga, we had an hour and 45 minutes left. It was silent.
Dead silent.
We turned the music off. Everybody was just riding in silence, bro.
Yeah.
Because
Like,
it's pitch black. I know. You know why I know this feeling? Because my shout out, rest in peace, my grandfather. But when we used to drive upstate, you know, my family from the Bronx, so like he was a reckless driver, right? So he ain't stopped for nothing, right? So he hit every deer.
oh my
Yeah.
God, bro.
Like he didn't. So I've had these same experiences that
You know what
as
it's
you,
like.
when I'm a kid in the car and you just hear the doo doo, and he's like, and you're like, what? Grandpa, what was that? And he's like, not my problem.
That's crazy. That's
Oh,
crazy.
God.
Nah, we felt bad. We
No,
felt bad.
honestly,
Prayers up
I
for the
was
deer.
messed up. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, I'm so excited to have y'all here because, you know, shout out my boy Calvin. Like, through him, I really gotten to know y'all. He was the one who really put me onto the music you guys have been making. But I didn't realize until after a while that I know you had started in some shows as a child, but did all y'all do shows too?
Yeah.
So what shows did y'all two do?
Lord, okay, so for me, it was Terminator, the movie, when I was like 8, and then I had like my own syndicated show called
Okay.
The Jada Grace Show.
Okay.
Yeah, I was on Nickelodeon. So I did a show called Bella and the Bulldogs, and then I was on a TBS show as a kid. Netflix.
Which TBS show?
It was called Are We There Yet? With Ice Cube and Terry Crews.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, I
Why
was
did yo John's face?
you know that? You know that?
A little bit. Anything.
It's funny because New York is where I get recognized the most, actually,
okay.
ironically. Like, LA, I'm kind of good, but when I walk around, like, I was just at the Target the other day, and I needed some help at today, I needed some help at the register, and she, like, came to type in a thing, and while she was typing it in, she was like, I know who you are, but I'm not going to say nothing. Have a good day. And I was like, all right, bet, thank you. But New York always gives us mad love, I feel like.
for sure.
That's so funny. Is that like the craziest like I got recognized story that you've had?
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
no, no,
no, no, no,
We
no,
got,
no. Oh, no, no,
man.
no.
There was one that
Yeah.
happened today that was pretty nuts. We were
give it to me. What
we
was
went
it?
to a dispensary today.
That was crazy.
Just, you know, trying to re-up, been on the road,
Mm.
driving around. And we was just in there like getting ready to buy our stuff, and then American Psycho just comes on
Oh God.
the radio. It was in a song was playing. It was in the middle of another song, and then American Psycho comes on.
Yeah.
Everybody, we all looked up.
We were
I
like,
was like, what the f-?
And we look behind the counter, and there's this dude back there like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Shout out to, what was it? Do you remember his name?
It was Empire Cannabis Club.
Man, shout out to him, bro. He gave us some.
Shout
he
out.
gave us some
He
gifts,
really
man.
looked at y'all like that?
Yes.
yeah.
He gave us some
Yes.
gifts,
hooked us up,
man.
too.
And yeah. What's crazy, bro, is we definitely all come from different backgrounds,
course.
and that's how we met. But what's really exciting now is like ever since, especially we dropped the most recent project, when we're out together, we get recognized for group therapy, which is crazy. Like we're so used to people coming up to us being like, "Oh, I know you from this. I know you from this. I know you from this." But niggas be coming up to us like, "Do your shit, best friend. Do your shit." Like it's crazy.
I love that. You know, it's funny because I recognize y'all from group therapy because I'm 27. So
Right.
the shows that y'all did was like right after my time.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I knew about Lab Rats. I didn't really know too much about the other
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah.
Because Lab
Yeah.
Rats, my little cousin used to watch Lab Rats all the time. But like I knew y'all through group therapy, which is why like when I was doing research and when I was out, your TikTok is amazing too. Like that's where I really found out like most of the information. I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit, they were all in TV shows as a kid, which I think is even cooler now that this album is doing what it's doing, because I feel like ever since, you know, I was young too, there's always kind of like that little thought in the back of people's heads like, okay, they were on Disney and Nickelodeon, like can they make this higher level of music
Yeah,
that
for
people
sure.
Yeah.
you know want to hear? And I don't know if people would say it's a curse or this or that, but whatever the fuck it is, y'all broke that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Thank you.
y'all
Thank
success.
you.
But is that something that is also, or was at least also in the back of y'all's heads too? Like, would y'all be worried about how people would accept this music, knowing, you know, people know us from X, Y, and Z? Like, were
Yeah.
y'all worried about that for a while too?
For sure.
Absolutely, bro.
Yeah, that was. I mean, we only do this because we care about it, and
Yeah.
like we love to do it, and we care about being good at it. So there was, for a while, there was a fear of like, are people actually gonna take
Like
this
this,
as
yeah.
serious as we're taking it?
We were afraid we would get written off as just like, you know, more actor musicians just like doing a little second bag thing. But like we're really students of music, and we love it, and we're obsessed with it. And so that was also an intention with this project was we wanted to make something that was so undeniable that it didn't matter where we came from or what our backgrounds were. You had to at least respect it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah, nah. Cause I think about like when I was a kid growing up, I'd be like, I wonder if they could make like these high levels of music. But it's so cool seeing a group like y'all who's so like authentic too. Like it like, cause I feel like sometimes like child actors get forced into making a certain type of sound, and they don't get to freely be who they are, which is eventually why we get the products of like Miley Cyrus, who now Miley Cyrus I feel like is making the most authentic music that she's ever made, right?
Yeah,
She's making great music, but it took like
she had to go through that.
She had to go through that phase of like being forced to make this or kind of forced to make this bubblegum pop or hip hop, which I'm sure some of it she wanted to do, but now this is like who she wants to be. But like y'all caught like that. I'm gonna make who I want to make, the music I want to make like immediately, which is leads to my next question, which you guys kind of alluded to how y'all met, but how did all three of y'all come together originally, being from all these different backgrounds?
We all met
like
in
15
LA.
years ago.
Okay.
Like, 15 years ago. Yeah.
Really?
I met
That seems
TJ
crazy.
dance class when I was super young. And then like 3 years later, he connected me with Coy after he moved out from South Carolina. So at that point, we were all like 13, 14 when we all like got together.
Wow.
And we didn't start making music until we were like 18, honestly. We were just fooling around as kids for a while.
Yeah, I feel like you kind of touched on it in what you were saying a second ago. It's like that was kind of the birth of us, is that like with the other things that we did, we weren't able to be ourselves. That was sort of our like going through the machine of the industry. It was like the Hollywood side. So the birth of the music was really finding a space where we could do our own thing that nobody else had a say in. You know what I mean? So when we met, we were all in these very unique positions of being child entertainers, you know, and it's hard to make friends. It's hard to meet other kids who like can relate to that. So we just held on to each other's like so tight, you know, and even TJ, when we decided to come up and like actually turn this into something, the first name he came up with was Group Therapy, because we had been saying like, we had been jokingly being like, all right, time to go to therapy, like, because that's what it was. It was cathartic. It was therapeutic. We never even made it in the beginning with the intention of releasing it.
That's fire. I love that. That's such a great story of like coming up together too. Because I never even really thought about it like that, where it's like you guys are so isolated as child actors that like you don't really get the experiences to like meet other kids and shit like that, or share interests or things like that, because you're working all the time too.
Yeah, it was ironic. The one thing that made us black sheep in our own smaller communities was the thing that brought us together when we were together, you know, because we didn't fit in nowhere.
No.
Strangely enough, because like I mean, you're like part of it is you don't really have that much of a choice over it because you're a kid. Yeah. So like you can say like, oh, I want to be an actor as a child, but you don't understand that that's a job. You know. Yeah. Just like that would be a cool thing to do. And then like before you know it, you're like 16 or 17. You're like, wait a minute.
You ain't going to school.
I'm not being around kids my age. I'm not spending time in school the way I need to be. I'm at work. I got a 9 to 5. And like. You know, we kind of got to being 18 and realized like, oh, this never stops. We chose to get into this thing early, and now we just got to keep doing it forever.
Right. It's not like you had you know, you're like, I'm actually in the shows about high school, not like actually getting to experience high school. And then once you get to like your 20s, you're like, fuck. This is like,
it's over.
This is like, I've been doing what people got to start doing in like 23, 24. Been doing that since I was like 15, 14, 13, some shit like that.
But we turned it into our superpower, right? Like the thing that we thought was going to be our crutch is actually what takes us further than maybe the average artist because of our background, because of our industry experience, because of the skills that we've been able to gain. We do all our own videos. We do all our own visuals. Like all of that stuff plays into what group therapy is. So we flipped it.
Right. Yeah, like when Calvin first showed me some of the visuals y'all did, I was like, I could tell that y'all have your own hand in it. Because you can kind of tell when it's like, oh, I brought somebody in to kind of write this treatment versus like, oh, no, like they're just having fun and they're doing this on their own and they're like letting it kind of be like, it gave me like, what did I say? I said it was like very kind of like Brockhampton type of vibes, you know, very Brockhampton inspired. I don't know if they're an inspiration for you guys.
Oh, yeah.
For sure, yeah.
But it felt like, you know, that type of energy behind the videos that you guys were making too.
Absolutely. I mean, all of our backgrounds in TV and film, we are just as passionate and nerdy about. So when it comes to making music and it's time to do a video, we just
That's
tap
so
into
much
that
fun.
bag. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And use
Yeah.
all those inspirations.
Right. For y'all with this new album, how do you feel like this album, because we spoke about it a little bit, but and how you feel like it changed people's perspectives or ideas about y'all, but firsthand experiences about this album, the moment where you're like, wow, people are really taking us seriously. What are some of those moments for you, whether it be certain artists reaching out to you that you wouldn't have thought about, or just moments with fans or even people who may have grown up watching y'all? What were some of those moments that you felt like people really you were like, damn, people's perception of us is different now?
I mean, there's so many moments, but for me, sometimes when I just read some of these articles that people are writing and the way that they just take in the album, it's so beautiful to read all these different perspectives that people have for this album, and just people tweeting us being like, this album got me through this or that, and it just is it really blows our mind because we were in the studio in November making that,
Yeah.
And no, it's been crazy for sure.
I think tour for me has been the biggest eye opener.
Yeah.
We hit the road and we had a show in Atlanta a few nights ago, and we did, I think it was Nasty.
Yeah.
And I didn't even have to say the chorus.
Yeah.
They were saying that shit back to us, bro. And that was the first time that's ever happened. And I think we fight so hard from the position of trying to prove. And that was the first time I was able to take it in and be like, damn, it's connecting. You know what I mean? And that's just it's a crazy feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the thing that makes me realize it's working now is seeing people, but specifically people and artists that we know and that we respect. When we talk about music shit and saying oh yeah, and we're in a group called Group Therapy, them being we know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That blows my mind.
Yeah.
When they're no, yeah, I already know. I know you do music and it's good, and I've heard the album and it's great.
Yeah.
The first time that happened, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you go from a position of putting people on.
Yeah. Or it feels
you
you gotta, you kind of have to fight to get a project or your music in front of as many people as possible, and to fight for that respect. And then to enter a room where you don't need to do that is insane.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, man. Well, look, I don't want to take up too much time because y'all got sound check. We got to record this freestyle. But I will say before we sign up out of here, the initial thought, as I've been listening to y'all music, is I really just need y'all to do something with Tyler. I think I don't know, that's that's just the one thing I want to manifest on the show for you guys.
love that, bro.
Manifest it, man.
Because I think that y'all two will fit perfectly together.
He's
so
a
I'm gonna
huge
manifest that for
inspiration.
you guys.
Thank you,
know
bro.
what
He's
I'm
a
saying?
I
huge
appreciate
inspiration.
Huge.
Tyler,
That's
if
the
you're
guy.
watching, call us.
Hit us, bro.
He's definitely heard y'all music though at this point. I personally feel like that's me, because I feel
That
like y'all
would
are
be
in that
amazing.
realm that he would
That
probably
would
have
be-
heard it by
Listen.
now.
That'd be crazy.
That's the guy. We love him.
If there's anything you hear that you like,
Hit us up, bro. We're
Call
here.
us.
We're here.
Well, look, like I said, I appreciate y'all. By the time y'all seen this, freestyle out now, album out now. If you haven't had a chance to go tune into that, please go check it out. It's amazing. LA video out now. Go run that up. Before we get up out of here, if y'all want to drop each one of y'all individual grams, as well as obviously the Group Therapy Instagram, let the people know where they can follow you at. Y'all's camera's right here. Yours is right here.
I'm at Jada Grace everywhere.
I'm at Coy Stewart, CoyStewart, everywhere.
I'm at Tyrell J. Will everywhere. And then this Group Therapy LLC, at Group Therapy LLC.
Everywhere.
Easy.
with us.
Well, make sure you go check out that album. Go run up the freestyle. Go run up the LA performance. One of my favorite groups out right now. Go check them out. Go show them some love. Go show them support. Love is free. Support is free. But y'all renew that. Till next time. Group Therapy on the radar. We out. Bye.